We are present. We are live. Welcome back to Skills Rwanda. And we are so excited. Today, we have our special guest, Chantal. Hey, Chantal. How are you doing? And
Hi, Lydia.
today is different, but not so different. And just to let everyone know that today is our last day of events. So we're very excited and we're going to try and wrap up things. We started this journey in April this year. So we've had I think a dozen of sessions so far. We've talked about writing a cover letter, writing your resume. We've talked about the internship program, so many different initiatives. And I think what I'll do probably for before the year ends or whenever it begins, just to do a recap of what we've done, just a short video so that each one of you knows, how far we've progressed and what video you need to go back and watch and what resources are available. But just to remind our viewers that one thing that really, what we're really trying to do here is to give young people all the information they need to succeed. Be it in your career journey, are you working, are you a job seeker, are you a student, as you think of joining the workforce, or are you an entrepreneur, are you thinking of going into business? So we all always like look for information that will be really helpful to you, so that we bring it. Now, today is special because we have Chantal. Chantal is a key account manager at Harambee. Um, my story with Harambee is an interesting one, but I won't share it right now because they're so energetic. They have that thing they do, Harambee. But Chantal, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself, tell us about yourself, and just welcome everyone on the show. If you viewing us from anywhere really, Kigali, please tell us where you are. If you're abroad, if you are a Rwandan and you're abroad, or if you want to come and do business in Rwanda, you're welcome. And just give us a like, a thumbs up, comment, email, if you really have anything, drop it in the comment section and we'll get to it. If you have a suggestion, if you have any feeling you want to let out, please share. Over to you. Please tell us who you are and what you do and what you have for us today.
Hi, Lydia. Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me well. Is my network okay?
I think it is okay. We'll hear from the audience.
Okay.
If you can't hear Chantal,
All right.
let us know that you can't. But if you can, yeah. Hey, Michael. Michael is from Botswana. We love you in Kigali. Come visit soon.
Hi. Absolutely. So my name is Chantal Kayonga. I work with Harambee. Um, Harambee is a youth employment accelerator. We started in South Africa 10 years ago, and in Rwanda in particular. We've been here for 3 years, and we support young people in bridging the gap between their skills, their skill gaps, as well as getting them work, or rather, get for them to be able to set themselves up to be able to get work. So at the moment, we're working on a number of projects that we'll probably see a little later on. Did you lose me, Lydia?
It was just a little bit of connection that went off, but I think we're back on air. Please, audience, let
Okay,
us know if you can, if we are back.
absolutely.
This virtual working and always, the internet, someone's always touching somewhere. But please go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Yes, so we support young people from 18 to 35. Our partners are RDB Ministry of Youth, and we fall under the Hangahazaza umbrella in Mastercard Foundation. And so, yeah, we've really been supporting young people. And maybe for more information of what Harambee does, Lydia will be gracious enough to share the PowerPoint when the time comes. So,
Absolutely. Do you want me to share it now or later?
I mean, I'm happy to continue if that's okay with you. Let me know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please
All
continue.
right. All right. Yeah, sure. So maybe the next slide.
Okay.
All right. So currently, we have a network of about 10,000 young people, and out of those 10,000, 2,700 have been pathwayed into jobs or learning opportunities. And then we're working with over 60 employers. But along with the formal labor, we do support young people in a program we call Problem Solving for Earning. This is a program that focuses on transitioning young people's mindsets around a fixed mindset to flexible ones, where they actually understand that I can actually, if I have a skill, I can turn it into an income generating activity. So instead of sitting at home, let me actually find something that can bring me income. And so that's what we call problem solving for earning. And then as well as another training that we actually take on is speak English, or rather English acceleration training. We have realized that we have a growing market of whether it's BPO or the T and H sector that actually need young people with very fluent English. And so that is one of the areas we've decided to tackle around the spoken English. The other service that we actually offer is use of the chatbot. So we have a chatbot that young people can use their WhatsApps, get on the phone, and start to chat with the chatbot, and then it will take them through a series of questions around how they can start earning for themselves, and ideas on what ventures they should get into. Yeah. Next slide, Lydia. All right. So as Harambee, one of the things that drives us is demand. So all our services are tailored around demand and are led by demand. So every program that we design, it has to pathway these young people into an income generating activity, whether it's a job or them starting their own business. And so we kind of divide it into sections, which is formal and informal. But the way we usually refer to is global business services and micro enterprise. So for the formal, there is work seeker support. This is done on WhatsApp because WhatsApp is a very common medium for young people. And so we train them in Kinyarwanda. How do you write your CV? How do you communicate your experience? How do you network? How do you go out and actually look for a job? What do you need to have? What skills do you have that you could actually um, amplify to be able to get that job? How do you talk about yourself? How do you take interviews? So all these things are taught in work seeker support training. And then the other part is the mock interview and CV support. We have a team that strictly deals with mock interviews and CV support. So any young person in Rwanda, if you have an interview, call Harambee, schedule a mock interview, and we'll actually help you do a mock interview. If you have a CV that needs to be reviewed, send it to us and we'll be happy to actually review it for you. Because at the end of the day, our win is a young person winning? Are they getting the job they're applying for? Are they taking interviews the way they should? Is their confidence level growing even as they take these interviews? That is our focus on, in terms of the formal part. Now, the element of the speak English acceleration training, that's a 6 to 8 week training. It's done on WhatsApp, live lessons, and in-person sessions. For the in-person sessions, they come to the center and they go through a 3 hour session, or that is specifically designed to improve their spoken English. So in this particular program, we are not looking to teach you English. We are looking to increase your spoken English. And so it takes on about 3 hours per at least 3 times a week or once a week, depending on the need. And then it's but this is a program that we have tailored around BPO space, business process outsourcing, as well as tourism and hospitality. An example of the business process outsourcing is an organization called Tech Experts. We've had very many conversations with BPO organizations that are looking for young people with both skill and spoken, because they'll be servicing a market that is most likely fully um, they use English as their primary language. So whether it is service places like Europe or the US, they need to have a solid spoken level of English. And so that is how we ended up coming up with spoken English acceleration training. One of the partners that we currently work with is Tech Experts. And so when Tech Experts came into the market and they did their assessments, they realized that a good number of young people had the technical skill, but when you gave them the phone to speak, they couldn't express themselves. Regardless of the fact that they could actually understand and hear what you're saying, the spoken, they didn't, it couldn't come out. And so that is how we decided to do the acceleration for the spoken piece, which builds confidence. Um, because they know the language, it's just the element of coming out to speak the language. So that's on the Speak English program, or rather the Spoken English Acceleration Training. The other program that we run is the Earn for Yourself chatbot training. This is a fully digital program. You use your WhatsApp, you're communicating with a chatbot. The chatbot, we call it the chatbot Ange. So you actually feel like you're talking to someone, but what its purpose is to set you on a journey of earning for yourself. So if it's something like, how do I start with almost minimal capital? Do I need to have capital? How do I market my products? Where do I go? How do I turn this idea that have, very small idea, to something that could actually make me a revenue? So that is the chatbot. And then if you finish the chatbot and you realize that you actually need more training in this particular space, then there is the option of you signing up for problem solving for earning. The problem solving for earning, you have basically a facilitator, you have a mentor. So they will come in and they will train you and they will coach you. They really take their time. And so we have seen so many young people succeed at this. They've come in, they don't do anything, probably a graduate. They've been sitting home waiting for someone, I mean, for an employer to reach out to them to give them a job, gone through the program, realized that, well, I actually not like cutting hair. And so they start cutting hair and they make money out of it. And then they do it again and again and again. And so they start to see their profits increase. You know, there's a story of a young candidate who they were working, they were helping their mother in a phone shop or something like that. And so she realized that the mother had phones, but they didn't have like the extras, whether it's the phone cover, screen protectors. And so she says, what if I actually, so she went through the program, and the facilitator, or rather the coach, asked her, what's the gap that you see in there? What's missing that you can actually get and make an income? And so she started getting the additional parts of a phone, screen protector, covers. And as we speak, she earns millions of money out of, she started with parts. Now, after she got good money, she now has the phones. And so the business has continued to grow. So it starts with that small mind shift of knowing I don't have to start with so much capital, but I could start with a little and turn it into something large. So, yeah, those are some of the services that we provide at Harambee.
Wonderful. And I just want to say, you touched something really nice, saying that you don't have to, have so much to start. You don't need millions to start. You need not to be like the typical motivation speakers who say they began with a feather and now they have a whole farm of chicken. But I'm sure Harambee does a fantastic job of providing mentors and people to guide young people through this journey. What would you say is the main step that young people need to take, to get to that part to say, okay, I can actually start from the little that I have. Yeah.
I think it's change of a mind shift, right? I think we've been told that I need to start with a shop. For me to sell something, I need a shop because that's all I've seen. But we are in an era where I just have to have one thing, put it on social media, and it's gone, right? So that we need that change of a mind shift where we're saying, I can make money with the smallest thing. What skill do I have that I can leverage to get me an income? Am I good at reading essays and editing them? Can I help young people write their, review their essays for scholarships? Can I edit some of the content? Or when I was growing up, was I with, maybe you have a relative who runs a restaurant? Can I learn how to cook a specific thing and make an income out of that? Or what are the skills that are being taught on the market that I can leverage and then better then go and actually do something to bring me income? So I think for me, what I would say is, one, be open to these opportunities, look for them because they won't look for you. Get out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone, go out and find. Actually, sit with yourself, figure out what you're good at, and see how you could actually leverage that. But even beyond that, find people who are doing something you're interested in and find a way to leverage their experience. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning that because sometimes, our young people are like, oh, you see, I haven't finished school yet. And you find like it's holiday time and like you have all this time, you could use it for something. And for example, the example you gave about, editing essays, you don't have to be out of school to do that. And actually people are earning some good money, writing essays online, editing essays online. And I wanted to test it out a few days ago, and I found, for someone to write you a really good essay, it was like 400 USD. And I'm like, excuse me.
There we
But
go. There we go.
yeah, it's like if you're a writer, if you and we do have, our talented people who do later, languages. That is a skill that you can actually start from there. But before we go into, more details, because I have, other questions that we can discuss about, let's first watch a video of what exactly Harambee is doing and how it's helping people, our Rwandan youth, thrive and make the best out of the situation. Right.
covid imaze gutangira hajemo imbogamizi zitandukanye, aho twakoreraga turarekera kwishyura inzu, abakiriya barahagarara, aho twaranguraga amagi nabo bareka kuyaduha, ubushobozi burabura bwo kumeza kwishyura inzu kandi udakora, biba ngombwa ko mbamagaritse njya muri guma mu rugo.
Kuba narize kaminuza ntabwo byambujije gukora utuntu dutoya dushoboka nka mobile money, narayikoze ndi fieri yabyo kuko nari mfite intego yo gushaka amafaranga nubwo nakoreshaga dukeya cyangwa se korora inkwavu.
Njya gutangira ntabwo byari ibintu byoroshye cyane ko harimo imbogamizi nyinshi cyane, harimo nko kubona igishoro, kuba natinyuka nanyibwanye nkikorera, ntabwo byari ibintu byoroshye pe, ariko mbifashwemo n'amahugurwa ya Harambee naratinyutse kandi bigeraho nubwo bitari byoroshye.
Urebye ngewe ubwanjye nize finance, mfite bachelor's degree muri finance, kugira ngo mbashe kubona akazi muri finance byari ibintu bigoye cyane. Nahoraga nkora ibizamini ako gutsinda bikaba ikibazo. Ubwo nibwo byabaye ngombwa ko nkora training muri Harambee, batwigisha uburyo dushobora kuyikora dutangije amafaranga make cyane. Nibwo nanjye nahise mfata urugendo bati reka nkore mpere ku mafaranga make ndeko haraho nabasha kugera, kandi ndatekereza narabikoze cyane.
kuganira n'undi muntu cyane cyane nk'abakozi ba Harambee byamfashije kuba natekereza kure no kuba nabona ko nshoboye kuruta gutekereza kuba narahombye no kumva ko n'ejo hazaza hanjye nta cyizere cy'ubuzima mfite. Bimpa imbaraga no kwisubizamo ubushobozi bwo kuba nagerageza nkongera nkatangira bushyashya.
koresha imbaraga nke ufite, kuko nasanze nta mafaranga make yabaho nta na menshi abaho.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know. Since this is like a virtual session, I just felt like clapping hands because this was like deserves, like Harambee is doing a powerful work with our people. And just as the video was playing, I some of the people that Harambee has supported really talked about something really important. It's a mind shift, and you kept talking about it. It's not being stuck in saying, oh, I did finance, so this is the thing that I need to do. And I want to hear from you, Chantal. What do you think young people, like, how can they get to that point of actually first of all looking for the transferable skills and understanding that you don't have to work in a bank just because you did finance. How do you go through that with your students, or what can you say about that?
So that's a really good question, Lydia. When it comes to transferable skills, I think first and foremost, to his point, he did finance. It's easy for someone to say, but now he's a carpenter. What is he doing? Or he's rearing chicken. Like, what are you doing, right? But if we are going to go based on society throwing stones at us because I have a degree, now I need to be in this particular field, then it's a disadvantage to a certain extent. The reason I say it's a disadvantage is because the economy, Rwanda, is continuously evolving, right? So the job market is continuously evolving. The needs of the people are continuously evolving. So if you're stuck in a fixed mindset, we're going to pass you by. And
absolutely,
given that our young people are the biggest resource that as a country we have, we can't afford to have a fixed mindset. So I think for me, in terms of transferable skills, one, as a young person, take the time to actually research the market. What are the growing sectors? What are the things that I'm interested in? In my community, what value can I add to my community? What does my community need that I can actually support in? Sometimes it even starts as volunteering, right? And then eventually, if you volunteer and get a skill and use that skill to actually bring you an income, well and good. If you volunteer and actually create networks, that's still a win. So I think removing the myth around I need a big job, I need to work for this big company to be able to succeed, but rather finding out exactly what is needed on the market. For instance, if we talk about now, like one of the growing sectors we've seen is like BPO. BPO is business processing outsourcing. These are organizations that are looking to hire thousands of young people to support the European market, the US market, and all these other markets, Asian markets. But they need specific skills. One being English. So if I know, and if, for instance, let me use an example I know, Tech Expert. If Tech Expert is saying, I need 2 skills, I don't care what your background is in, but if you have these 2 skills, you're guaranteed a job. The 2 skills I would need is probably if someone with a technical background in IT unspoken English. If I know I have the technical skill but not know the English, what should I be doing? If this is the area I want to actually work, what should I do? Go out and figure out how to learn English. We are in an era where everything is online. You can literally find English classes online. Take the time, put the work in, put that work in that. And one of the things we usually tell the young people is you can only go as far as you want. We can help you, show you the opportunities, we can show you the road, but it takes, you get to choose to walk the path. You get to choose to get what you have, what you desire. So I think one, research the market to figure out what contribution can I make to my community that would actually in the end benefit me. Number three is what skill can I learn? What skill is needed? What skill do I see demand? Number four, don't get stuck in, I am a graduate of this, I have to do this. I mean, Lydia, let me ask you, are you doing what you studied on campus?
Not entirely, no. and and actually we're talking about this before the show, because like I did actually two majors in my at university. I did
Yeah.
biology and I also did global studies. Now someone
Yeah.
will be like, biology and Rwanda development, like, what, are you crazy? But here's the thing, I also did global studies and it looks at development. And actually, as we're talking about this, it's like the transferable skills are very important. And also, I've also talked about my career journey. Like, I did start out at RDB. I've actually worked in real estate, and you'll be like, what? Real estate. I've worked as a customer. I've worked in customer service. Those are things, because to me, even after when I graduated, I was like, it's not a must that I need to work in the area that I graduated
That you
in.
started.
I have, all I need is a job. And if I am lucky and I get the training for the job, because some jobs, they don't care, like what you're saying, they don't care what your education background is. They're like, we will train you, because so many of these things you can learn, they're learnable. So we will train you, and you can learn so many things out, like you won't learn in school. So you
Yeah.
learn them at the job, and then you move forward like that. You just have to be proactive and have
Mm-hmm.
the skill to say, okay, all I need is to work hard, find out where the opportunities are, and that, like, if you're someone who's went to school, definitely opportunities are there, because
Mm-hmm.
at school, you don't learn one subject at school.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
various subjects. You learn the writing, the reading. Even though you're doing
Mm-hmm.
biology, you're writing and reading, you're doing analytics, you're analyzing things. So those are all skills. And I find it so heartbreaking when our recent graduates are like, I don't have any experience, I don't have any skills. It's like, my friend, you have been you have experience, you have
Yeah.
read reports, you've
Mm-hmm.
written papers, you've done so much. Don't despise what you have. And it's really something that is required of people to know, not to despise what they have. um and What else did I want to say? I know our young people, they're always looking for opportunities. And actually, I really appreciate the program that Harambee is doing, starting small, starting from something that you have, and then
Mm-hmm.
building off of that. And we've provided the contact information. If you need to reach out to Harambee, that's their information. The chat
Yes.
box was rolling on the screen before. And also, you can choose to visit their website. They're always there, and they'll be helpful. Now, I don't know if you have any questions. Let me see. We have, and just if we hadn't mentioned before, this session usually remains at our Skills Rwanda YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and also on LinkedIn, on our RDB page. So don't worry if you came halfway through. These sessions are recorded, and you can always go back and watch them. That's the beauty, and we always here to provide this information, and we don't want you to miss out on anything. So if you came in late, it's okay. You can, go back and, watch the session all around. Chantal, anything else you would like to cover? Should I bring back the presentation?
No, I mean, I think probably on the element of starting small, especially for the
Yes.
young people. I think d- e- everyone should embrace starting small, because no one got to go where they are because of starting large, right? So it's okay to actually start small. It's okay to actually make a profit of 500 that ends up growing to 1,000, 2,000 to 5,000. And those are the
Yeah.
testimonies that we see in problem solving for earning. And then in the element of, well, but I am strictly wanting a job in the formal market. How do I get there? Right? One, find these organizations in the ecosystem that are actually supporting young people in this space. Who are these people that are supporting young people? If it's us, let us know. Should we help you with your CV? Should we help you with your spoken English? Do you How can we support you? Because I believe that most of these organizations are here to support young people. But it's only until you come to us that we will be able to support you. But beyond even just supporting you, what you're learning, how do we transfer that to actually the job market? And I think for me, one of the things that, if some of the barriers we've seen, and maybe I'll touch a little bit about barriers when it comes to young people entering the job market or even starting for themselves. Um, One being employers that are not lenient in terms of years of experience. You find that there is a young person who has probably 1 year but can do a job that you're requesting of someone who needs to have 4 or 5 years. Can we be flexible with that? Can we
Yeah.
have employers that are willing to take on more interns? Can we have employers that, even though it's just not internship, even work shadowing, can they come in just for 2 weeks to see what you're doing? Can they come in and see, I wanted to become a banker, but after 2 weeks, I don't think it's something that I want to, right?
Yeah.
Because you find that sometimes we really want these careers, and then you enter, you're like, yeah, this is not what I thought I wanted.
Yep.
I've had a change of heart around that, and so I think there has to be a constant communication between employers and young people, but then also the young people putting in the work on their side of or their end to actually put in the work, whether it's building their own skill. How do I network? Where do I find these events? How do I better my networking skills? And then, government is there to help you. Government is doing wonders. This is an example of what government is doing to ensure that the young
Absolutely.
people know where they should go for these products. But also, in addition to that, can the ecosystem come and just together and support the young people all together? Figure out
Yeah.
which organization is doing what. We are doing funding, we are doing skilling, we are doing support in maybe the business element training. And then can we have like a body of salt, and then we help young people? So I think there are very many things to learn from this space. And I'm just glad that, government partners like you guys and all the other partners in the ecosystem are willing to chip in.
Yeah. And we do have one question from Allah. He says, do you have entrepreneurship programs for the youth?
That's a good question. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it an entrepreneurship program, but I would call it a program that trains young people to shift their minds to entrepreneurship. In other words, most people don't actually know whether they want to become entrepreneurs until they go through this program, hear the stories of people who are in the formal, transitioned into the informal, or rather micro enterprise, and realized actually I can do that. If this person started with no money, maybe 20,000, and I have 50,000, let me invest this 50,000, start the business, then it works, and then they grow into something. So we try to pathway young people into that space. But then we also rely on partners to come in and help these young people and now become fully fledged entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. I do like how interactive our audience is, and people are giving testimonies. Like we have one from Quindi, and she says she
Mhm.
started as a welding lady 6 years ago from university, and her salary was zero. In 2 months, she got 100K, and now she's in a good position. Because again, that's so wonderful. And Nicole, thank you so much for sharing your story, because this is something that we really encourage young people. Don't wait for something like Chantal was saying. Don't wait for the opportunity to fall onto your laps, because that's not going to happen. Go out, be proactive, seek out the opportunities, show what kind of value that you have and what you have to offer. If you knock on one, two, three, four, five doors, all of them may not open, but at least one will open. And if it
Mhm.
doesn't, the window will open.
Something will open. Something will open.
Something will come out of
Or
it.
you could
Like,
even just learn a lesson. Sometimes there is such lessons are huge. Yeah. Mhm.
absolutely. And someone here asks, this is Pacific, where do you mention and think we get experience apart from being actively in work?
Yes, that's a good one. Pacific, I totally agree with you. You're not going to get experience unless you're working. Now, the work I'm talking about is not the formal work. It could be volunteering. It's when you get out of your comfort zone and look for things to do. You be intentional about finding things to do, whether it is volunteering, right? Can you knock
Absolutely.
on doors and say, I'm okay with you guys not paying me, but I want to do help you with accounting books if you have a background in accounting, or um, I'm really good at tech, I can help you manage your systems or help
Or your
anyone with
social media
coding.
platforms. I know lots of young people, do
Yeah,
social media,
social
and they love
media,
being on social media. And it's a really
absolutely.
trending, place of work. You could find a business and like, hey, I realized your social media presence is not that strong, and I would
Can I
like to
help?
volunteer to take this on. And you just, run ads for them, prepare content for them, and see, they will get to see the value of your presence, and then you could, get a job. And if not, you can always ask them, is like, hey, can you give me an internship? And then
Exactly.
recommend, hey, actually, I could get a stipend while doing an internship here if you recommend me to RDB. And that's where
Yeah. Yeah.
discuss the internship program before an
Mhm.
employer can recommend you for an internship. And then you can get yourself a stipend as you gain your
Mhm.
experience. So you have to really think outside of the box. And I thank Harambe for having that. Um, and I also saw one question here that, who is this one? Agree with you, but do you think it's free? Now, I know we talked about, we hadn't talked about the cost of these services that Harambe
Yes.
offers. But what do you
Yes.
have to say, Chantal?
So, Pacific, all the services we offer free. Yes. So there is no excuse to say, I didn't have the money, so I didn't train. Fees are free for training. For even when we place young people into work, we don't charge young people, we don't charge employers. When we bring them in for trainings, we don't charge them. So I don't want anyone thinking that if I come to Harambee, I'm expected to pay a fee. And if you ever hear it anywhere, please know that it's not true. We do not charge for trainings, for placements, for people who've been placed in learning opportunities. We do not charge. It's all our services are free of charge for young people. Our mandate is to see that we skill young people to bridge the gap to employment.
Absolutely. Now, a round of applause. Okay, I'm used to. I really want us to get back into the physical world because I mean, if I was a young person looking for a job, like literally right now, I'll be running to Harambee. Like literally, if
Yeah.
they can offer those services for free, my goodness, like that is
Mhm.
an opportunity you can't take for granted. So our young people, and I would just also like to mention out to, I know, especially on LinkedIn, we get so many people doing business. And if you want to partner with Harambe to make sure they deliver these services and they continue doing this impact, please,
Mhm.
we've shared their information. You can reach out to them, their websites. It's always, there. So we really appreciate the work that Harambe does. Now, as we wind up, and also just to remind our people that thank you so much for being with us. But this is one of our last videos before the year ends 2021 to 2022. And don't go anywhere because these sessions will continue even next year. So many great opportunities for our young people, business people, entrepreneurs, anything. We're here to make sure you have the information that you need. But Chantal, we've had this wonderful conversation. You've told us all about the services that Harambe offers, CVs, preparation, interviews, and
Mhm.
starting from where you are and building of that to an income generating activity. What
Mhm.
is what would be your last package of information? What can you tell either the business people or the or the students or job seekers? What would be your package to them?
Mhm. That's a good one. I have a couple.
Yes.
How much time do I have? um,
You have all the
no,
time. Perfect.
no. So to the young people, one, don't limit yourself to a specific field. Um, there are very many opportunities. Open yourself up. Open yourself up to the opportunities. Be vigilant about where you could spot an opportunity in the community. What is there that you could make an income as you finish your degree? If you've finished your degree as you're waiting for a job, what skill do you have that you can leverage into an income? If you're really sure that the path that you want is formal labor, then go for interviews. Find as many interviews to go for. Just because you don't get into this job doesn't mean you won't get into the next or the other. So allow yourself to continuously go for these interviews. They sharpen you and make you better. The second, prepare, and then prepare. Right. So one of the best way to actually succeed, whether it's to the interviews or to even get ahead, is to prepare. You need to prepare. Whether it's your CV, edit it ahead of time. If someone comes and says in 2 minutes, give me your CV, let it be ready to go without thinking, oh my goodness, I have to edit my CV and all that. Have it ready. Have it ready for an opportunity favors the prepared. So prepare, and prepare. And then network. Where do you want to go and where do you see people in that area? If you want to be a business person, I promise you, if you go to a business person and tell them, I have watched you for years, and I would just want 30 minutes of your time. Could you tell me something that could benefit me? Regardless of how mean that person could be, they'll have a soft spot of, okay, maybe they won't share a lot, but they'll share one or two things. So go after the things that you want. And then for the people that probably want to go into micro enterprise, you're probably saying, but I didn't go to school, so I might not secure the jobs that, require those degrees and all that. How do I then make an income? Find the things that you could do. In a community, there is something that if it's selling a product, to your point, you've learned how to use social media. Find a way of marketing on social media. Are you a barber? Do you have the potential to cut hair? Start. Can you sell things? Do something. I think the secret is in getting up and actually doing something. Number three is skill yourself. Skill yourself. Find the
Yes.
things that you need. What is the gap where do you want to go, and what's the gap in between? And how do you get to that place? So if it's a skill yourself. If it's English that you want to skill yourself in, skill yourself in that. If it is marketing, skill yourself in that. Nowadays you don't have to go to school for it. The internet is your best friend. The internet is your
Absolutely.
best friend. If you do technology and IT skills, internet is your best friend. But also, and the fourth, volunteer, go for internships. If you did an internship, finished it, and you're waiting for a job, but the job hasn't come, but there's another internship that's open to you, take it, right? As you wait for
Yeah.
something, try to avoid sitting at home and waiting for things. They won't come to you. You go to them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chantal. And thank you so much to our audience. Nicole, thank you for sharing your testimony. We do really love an engaged audience where you share because, for example, Pacific is saying he was very touched. And also, what I would say, like my last thing to young people, please be informed. Be informed. Um, Ignorance is not bliss at all, never. So be informed, seek out information, and it's everywhere. If you have access to a smartphone, internet, you're good to go. You have all it takes to be competitive. And we want to thank Allah. He's been really active in our audience. We really thank each and every one of you guys who's been here with us throughout this session. I know there are people who've watched us from the first session to this session. You've been really wonderful. We really thank you so much. We appreciate you and hope we can catch up next time. We look forward to more sessions, and please, if you have not yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and that's Skills Rwanda, or follow RDB because we work under RDB. So every time we have a session like this, because we have many more to come, so that you don't miss out. And we love you and thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Until next time, happy holidays and have a great time. Bye bye.
Bye.